you get given one of these little cards. It's a... oh well. Hello and welcome to Iceland. Doesn't it look lovely? It's brilliant. Just immediately getting off the boat, you already notice that it's a lot warmer than in the Faroe Islands. I've already had to strip off a lot of clothing already and open up the vents, although I've had to close them again because there's a bit of breeze. And it's a little bit cool once you get going. When you get off the boat, you get given one of these little cards, fuel discount card as it says there, and depending on the fuel station you get 6 or 7 kroner a litre off your petrol if it displays that symbol. So every little helps because it's quite expensive here, and I should already know that it's expensive because I've just done a little small shop, a box of cereal, some bananas, some milk and a roll for lunch. That's all, and all of that cost me 1,721 kroner, and that works out to be £11.26 or $14.66 depending on what currency you prefer. So over a tenner for just 4 items. That's crazy. Fortunately, I've brought a load of food with me from the UK, so I'm okay for about 2 or 3 days on cheapish food. But oh well, times are marching on. Let's go and have a look at Iceland. Well, after a couple of days, here we are, in the middle of nowhere. Yes, the first bit, it's fairly desolate, really. There's not a huge amount of life or stuff to see even, until you get down to the southern point here. And then there's suddenly a quick cluster of things to see and do. One of the things yesterday I'd done on the way down here, with all the ice and that's Jökulsárson, I think. Probably nowhere near though, because the N.E.O has an accent over them, and I don't know how those are pronounced in Icelandic. But yeah, it ain't gonna get much better, trust me. And after that, down the road a bit, and I came across something that I hadn't planned or known about even to see. There's the remains of a destroyed bridge that was destroyed in 1996, and they've put a couple of the girders there in a nice pose as a monument to it, and an information board. And I forget its name now, but again, there's no point even trying to pronounce it. That was mostly it for yesterday, and then we've bombed it down to the south here. Diraley or something like that. It's somewhere over there. It's the southernmost point of Iceland, and it's very similar to Tarifa in Spain in that it's incredibly windy. And this morning there's a place that I hadn't planned on visiting. I found it on a YouTube video when I was in the Faroe Islands just a few days ago. There's a crashed DC-3 plane in the middle of nowhere, and it's looking quite worse for wear. The winters haven't been very kind to it, and neither have people scratching graffiti into it and probably nicking parts as well over the years, so there's not much left apart from the shell. Then I've come to this place, which I was supposed to be over there in the secret cave that no one knows about, but very rarely do I have the cave to myself. So I've just come down this way a bit. This cave here, I've no idea if it has a name or not, but yeah, there's a guy called Alex Chacon. He's just recently done a tour video around Iceland by motorbike, because he's famous for riding motorbikes around the world, and now he gets paid to make YouTube videos. So he said, give me an email and I'll tell you where this secret cave is that no one knows, but everyone actually does. So I emailed him, he sent me the location, and now I'm here. So my campsite for the next 2 nights is right next to the big waterfall, Skogafoss, which I'll be paying a visit in more detail later on, because I'm camped right next to it, so I'm not overly fussed of having to rush there and do stuff. It's being a little bit shy today. It's covered by clouds, but behind those clouds is that volcano. You know the one, the Icelandic one, the one that blew up a few years ago and made all the planes in Europe not fly. Yeah, that one, yeah. You know the one that nobody can say properly, no matter how hard they try. Dunno, I'll give it a few more minutes, but I don't think it's going to show itself. a beautiful day. It's absolutely lovely. Perfect weather for our next cluster of places we're visiting. First of all, Gullfoss. It's yet another waterfall. Get used to it, there's many of them on this trip. But this country's full of waterfalls, so one thing that you can't miss, waterfalls if you come to Iceland. Second, I've just arrived here. It's Strokka. It's one of the most famous geysers, however you want to say it, in the country. It just erupted shortly after I arrived. So we'll go and walk up and have a look. And then after this, down to somewhere, Kerid or something like that. It's one of those O's with the crosses above it, so pronunciation again. And then after that, make our way towards Reykjavik, where I've got a lovely surprise booked. It's my one big blowout this 2-month trip. I deserve at least one big prize or present to myself during this trip, and since I've been able to keep the budget in check, I think I deserve it. So, welcome to Reykjavik. I'm here because I need to stock up on food, because I finally ran out of the English stuff. Gotta pay very expensive prices now and stock up on Icelandic food. I'm also here because I've been so good with the budget over the last month and a half. I've decided to have a massive blowout and go on a little fun trip. So let's go before it leaves without me.
You're the one with the motorbike.
As the helmet gives it
away.
away.
I just need on our passenger list.
Okay.
Oh, it's quiet up here.